We are talking about streamlining the patient experience. This is my number one game-changing transformation that I've used in my practice, but you're going to want to stay tuned. I wanted to talk about the biggest transformation that I found that came out of this particular group. And I didn't intend it to go this way. The whole purpose of working with me at any given time is to reduce the chaos, is to simplify things as quickly as you can and systematize things as best we possibly can, so we don't have to waste all of our brain power and our thought processes on things that we're kind of repeating every day anyway, or things that should be fairly streamlined and automated. And so often I found that the people I was coaching, the people that I was working with in the Next Level program, just even in the Maximize Your Clinic community, they were just making things way more complicated than it had to be. And even I was. So it's fun as an entrepreneur to allow our mind to just go places and start to think of and dream of all these amazing programs that we can offer and all the new platforms that we want to start using, and kind of allowing society to dictate what it is that we need to be doing. So if people are doing a podcast, well, I'm going to start a podcast, and you have no idea how time consuming it is. And then if other people are like, well, I'm now starting to do Instagram, and you've been focusing on Facebook, and then you make a pivot and you really don't understand why you're making that pivot, or you're making decisions in your business that aren't actually going to pay off. So over the past couple of years, working with the people that I've been working with and the mentors that I've invited into my life, the number one thing that is standing out for 2019 more than anything else is I am not going to be creating content for the sake of just creating content. I'm not going to be putting my energy towards things that are going to be a complete waste of time, just busy work. And I know most of you, if you really think about how you're using your time, you know a lot of it is just being busy. You're not actually accomplishing that thing that's going to move the needle in your business. Meaning, for example, I was thinking about doing like 1-minute videos on like a really quick tip that somebody could learn from me. But in the end, I thought, well, that 1-minute video, while it's giving me exposure, what's the logistic call to action at the end? What am I going to get people to do at the end of that 1-minute clip? And without knowing exactly what that is, I've decided to put that on the shelf. And until I have a good game plan, I'm not going to be doing work that isn't going to provide me with a outcome that I want. And that is bringing in new patients into my office and growing my business. So if it's collecting an email, totally worth it. If it is putting somebody through a funnel, totally worth it. But if all it is just putting content out there and it's taking me hours to create and edit this 1 little minute snippet, then it's just not worth it. And so what we were doing with the Next Level members is on almost every single call, we were coming up with new strategies. This is how you should be putting together your lead magnet. This is what a webinar should look like. This is what a seminar should look like. This is how you should promote yourself during all of these things. But when I stepped back and said, okay, what do all of these trainings actually amount to? And the real answer is in your business, what is the logical flow that you want all of your people to go through? So I got my students to throw out at me everything that they were doing. So they were using Facebook, they were doing email marketing, they have their website, they were doing a podcast, they were doing Instagram stories or whatever it is. And we put that on the very first column. Then the second column is, what are those leads going into? So if you have multiple lead magnets and they're all going to multiple different downloads, and then that's it, you're just kind of downloading those things and you're not doing anything with those leads, then that's kind of a gap in our funnel. So I would have everybody say, okay, what is the ultimate pathway you want all of these potential leads to go through? So then they picked 1 or 2 core lead magnets that every time they do a social media post, a blog post, something like that, it is funneling these people to these top 1 or 2 core lead magnets, their best material that they could have put out there that people are going to have a massive quick win on, that's going to help to build trust. And when people trust you, they start to like you more, they start to get to know you more, and then they, of course, want to work with you. So instead of having it be scattered amongst 20 different downloads, they're now funneling everything to 1 or 2 core lead magnets. And each of those core lead magnets funnels to one particular sequence that gets them onboarded as a new patient or client, as opposed to having just a bunch of gaps where, yep, I'm collecting leads. I have no idea what's happening with them. They're just kind of falling off a cliff or not being addressed. So now we created number 1 in the first column. So I encourage everybody to map this out yourself, like literally brain dump everything you've got going on in your business, all the programs that you've got going on, how you're trying to generate leads and generate new patients. What are the funnels that you're putting them through? And are they all streamlining to the same thing? So at the end, you should have this beautiful ability to say, okay, I'm putting a lot of effort into Pinterest and I'm not getting any traffic, so Pinterest is not where I'm going to focus this year. Or I'm putting a lot of effort into my Instagram and I'm getting a ton of new comments, people wanting to download my freebie in my bio or whatever. Then say, okay, that's where I'm going to put my effort in for 2019. And so what is it that you're offering? Pick 1 or 2 core lead magnets. It could be a live seminar or webinar. It could be just a PDF download. It could be a video series that you've created, just a very simple video series. And then at the end of all of those pieces, there should be a very obvious call to action, which is to come into my office or come into my business in some way and become a paying client. Now, you could have a little step in between where everybody books in a discovery call with you. So whether they've met you on a seminar, met you through a webinar, downloaded their PDF, their next call to action is to hop on a call with you. And that's where you can screen and make sure that they're the right fit for you and your business. And then we convert them into paying patients or clients. So that is the very first step that we did. Is I went through all of my students' businesses and I said, okay, what have we got going? What is the ideal flow to get them into your business?